pushing those boundaries, there's a limit. Something really creating your child's stress, the type of stress that no longer provides an opportunity, a love. When you don't let go, then you don't allow for growth. Don't ever let anyone tell you that your child is not capable of learning something.
Me encouraging him, saying like, hey, it's okay to try new things, like let's do it.
I wish people would have been able to see even the struggles from behind the scenes, how he used those struggles to overcome.
Welcome back to Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. I'm Patrick Valentine.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
So obviously we're missing a person today.
A big part of us.
And Zach is no longer on the podcast with us at this moment in time. We're just going to get right into it. No sugarcoating.
It was a hard decision.
Yeah.
It was a hard decision. And, like I said earlier, it feels a little empty. Mm-hmm. I'm so accustomed to have him.
The chaos.
Part of, the chaos. And it's true. And
it is.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different not having him here and planning for the day. But I think we are also going to be able to bring more content that is more deep and more meaningful.
More deeper conversations for you all. We've been reading the comments and like the DMs and the nice words, and we're really appreciative of you all.
We do appreciate that.
Yeah, and we want to like dig a little deeper, tell our story a little bit more, have guests on, things of that nature. And to ease anxiety for people too, just in case that's happening. Zach is okay.
Zach is perfectly fine.
Zach is perfectly fine. He is great. He is thriving in life. But as with anything that's new that he tries or that we try as a family, sometimes he's not the biggest fan of it, or sometimes it's not what he expected or wanted to do. And throughout us going through the podcast episodes and talking with Zach and trying new things and things of that nature, he expressed, he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. At this moment in time.
At the beginning, he was excited.
Yeah.
He enjoyed the space, having these small little conversations. It was new. We didn't know how to completely keep his interest.
Yeah.
We did these little challenges, which he absolutely loves. He loves the chaos. He loves to, give you a hard time and
he's still calling me pregnant. Don't worry. Calling me all these lonely.
We tried to pivot for each episode and figure out, like you said, he calls you lonely. He still does all these things, but it was a new space. And, even me coming into the space was new for me. Mm-hmm. So navigating everything for him, helping him adjust, I realized that there was just this moment that I don't think it was really fulfilling him.
And that's the key right there, fulfilling him, right? That doesn't mean there weren't certain elements that he enjoyed or wanted to do or talks about, because he goes out and is like proud of Love Out of Chaos.
He is.
He's like, I'm Zachary from Valentine Brothers and Love Out of Chaos. And so he still had those proud moments, those great moments, exciting moments for him. But I think that's the key, fulfillment. He didn't feel fulfilled in his creativity or his element.
Let's be real. Having him sit here for a period of time, having a conversation, it just was not really piquing his interest.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really want to get into for other parents who are trying to make decisions of where are those boundaries? The boundaries of maybe exposing your kids to new experiences, exposing them to opportunities that, will help them grow, will create more interest. But where is that boundary, right? Yeah. So where do we decide as parents that maybe pushing those boundaries, there's a limit?
Yeah, because also it's the conversation too of how do you finish what you started,
Right.
right? This is kind of ongoing thing. So there was never any finish in mind or
Right.
end date in mind or
Or even
anything of
just
that
give
night.
him this fulfillment of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt that that's important key for anybody, even for him to have that pride of responsibility. And although, believe me, Zachary has a lot of interest and a lot of opportunity and a lot of experiences, and I'm always pushing the boundaries. But the podcast, I think it felt as though, again, no fulfillment. I'm sure if we had guests, he might want to jump in, but we're going to leave that up to him to decide whether he wants to. And I'm excited for him down the road to see those little special appearance moments and what he brings. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to miss his little chaos and his comedic moments and giving you a hard time and even me a little bit. But I think we will be able to have a little bit more deeper meaning conversations. And just dive deeper into topics that I know are important to moms and families with those with special needs and Down syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you're still going to see Zach.
You are.
We just want to reiterate that you're still going to see Zach. Zach's still going to be on Valentine Brothers, doing TikToks, giving me a hard time, doing challenges. We have some fun things coming for YouTube as well. And yeah, it's
And I
just
also wore the
gonna be
Crocs
great.
for him. See, like I wrote Crocs.
In honor.
In honor of Zachary.
Earlier I
wore the pink
earlier I
Crocs.
said in memory. It's not in
he
memory,
loves
in
pink.
honor.
He loves the girls, so I had to wear the pink Crocs.
Can you put it on top of like
I
your head like
can't.
he does? Come
I
on,
can't
just
go
put it
up that high. No, I just
all the way up. No,
no, like
come.
no.
No, I don't think anyone could see
It's my
it.
bad knee. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there. I look over here and I'm still waiting for that little smile. And
But I think even in all of this, right? He's not here physically doing the podcast with us, but we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him.
Absolutely.
So there's like still this emotional element to it. There's this prideful element to it that Zach is cheering us on. Zach is still here with us. I keep wanting to say in memory, but it's not in memory.
In honor of.
In honor of.
Because of Zachary. I have to share this little moment. And this morning I thought, because, sometimes Zachary does have those moments when we decide not to have him in a space or even whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's a YouTube or a TikTok or
a scene.
a
Yeah.
scene or something. He will say at the beginning, be like, no, I don't want to do it. But once it's done and over, he says, what happened? Like, why wasn't I there? Why? So,
He has regret.
Yeah, he has moments of regret. He has what you would call fear of missing out, right?
Big FOMO guy.
Yeah, he does.
Big FOMO.
But I will say this morning that when I told him that I was gonna leave to go do the podcast Love Out of Chaos, I was wondering if he was going to say, what about me? Because I told him, you're going to stay here. You're going to stay home. And I'm going to have to say that he did not. So I know the decision was a good decision.
Adios, Mom.
He said, bye, see you later. He does want a massage, though.
Shocking.
So after today, I promised him that we'd go get him a massage because...
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Absolutely.
And that was our little moment this morning, and I felt good.
Yeah,
it made me at ease. Completely felt that peace that we weren't, not including him.
I mean, even that like sounds harsh. Not including him. He was part of the decision. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore, right?
So right, but there's always that moment again. Like I said, that sometimes
you always want him here.
Yeah. I always want him with me. He's always with me. And I don't know. I felt at ease.
And I think on the other end, for me, I am just so proud of him for trying,
Yes.
for trying something new. I think he did almost 30 episodes, 20 something episodes. And I always go back to when we were younger, trying new things was very difficult for him. And
Absolutely.
here we are now. He's doing random things on content that he wants to try or that we try. He tried the podcast for so long. And just ultimately so proud of him, of where he's grown in these episodes, in this element.
Yeah. I see him sometimes, as you know too, he's kind of sometimes hard on himself.
Yeah.
This morning I did tell him too, like, I'm proud of you. And he says that to you. He says that to me when he has these moments of, I'm proud of you for trying. So he understands.
Yeah, he does.
And I mean, you're right. It's important as a parent for me that I have provided certain opportunities and experiences. And like I said, you have to know where that boundary is. And how I've often made that determination between an experience that I think it's helpful for him versus continuing something that no longer serves him.
Yeah.
And I think where that boundary is something really creating your child's stress, the type of stress that no longer provides an opportunity, a love, growth. And I think that's what's important when you make a decision for your kids. Like, where that question, it always is, well, how do I know? You know, he's fighting me through the process of it. And we talked about what that process was for Zachary when I took him to Disneyland, right? Where it's like, I don't want him to feel so comfortable not having new experiences, but I want him to understand, to feel a little bit uncomfortable when something doesn't feel familiar. Again,
So for you, where do you see that? You see if it's like overly stressful for him? That's what I'm hearing.
I think it's a two-part, right?
Okay.
How much stress
the
is it going to
two-part?
cost me? I mean, really. I mean, let's be real, right? Some parents, as myself, we sometimes give it a second thought. How much time, effort, stress am I going to have to go through
To have this
to
experience.
create this experience?
That's valid. That's
Okay.
valid. Sometimes you got to
So-
protect your peace. It's very
Yes,
important.
it's important.
It is.
I mean, there's so much to navigate through and there's so much to consider, but it's true. So I have to ask myself, is this something I want to take on? How important is this new experience for him, for me, for us as a family? And going back to that Disneyland moment, if you haven't seen the episode where I talked about Zachary just being in large crowds was very uncomfortable, caused him a lot of stress sometimes. And I decided one day that I was going to get a year annual pass. The first hour that I was there, I had moments of regret thinking, what did I do?
Yeah, you essentially did exposure therapy.
And I exposed, just trying really because I didn't want to, I no longer wanted to live a life where it's just completely isolated. It was hard. That was hard for me. That was also stressful. So, long story short, I took him back another time, and he was able to get through those first initial moments that created him unfamiliar stress. And now he loves Disneyland. Now those things that, caused him just a sensory overload, like being on the tram, no longer is a problem. I think as a parent, when you start seeing those moments that, that effort, that time that was put into creating that opportunity and change, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because he finds so much joy going to Disneyland now. He asks, not only the joy, but he asks very often he wants to go. So we use it now as a place of either reward or just family time or
relaxed time,
or just getting
out
of the house. Because one is familiar, right? Um, and and two, it's an opportunity for more new experiences within the park without him really knowing or understanding that he's experiencing other things, whether it's a new ride.
Yeah, and so I do that too, right? Because sometimes it's just me and him going to Disney or going to a new experience or going off to film like me and him. And I remember there's a lot of moments within filming that helping him encourage him to go outside his comfort zone. Sometimes whether that's a a ride like you're talking about or an experience. He could be super super nervous, but me encouraging him saying like, "Hey, it's okay to try new things. Like let's do it." And him even seeing me try something.
And it's developed a level of trust.
Yeah.
He has come to trust that when he goes here, he knows and understands that it's going to be a good experience. And I think that's what's important too, is creating that level of trust with your child, that no matter if you're trying to create that experience, how do I create the level of trust? How do I
And that's built over
continue? Yeah, it's
time.
built over
Yeah,
time.
it's not just one experience, it's multiple experiences over
Yes.
time.
And that's important. That's important for a parent when you're making that decision. Not only how do I create that experience, am I willing and wanting to take that on? But once you do make that decision, then you also have to understand that you have to create trust with your child. So ease into it. Find maybe a step 1, step 2, step 3. Be patient with yourself, be patient with them. Figure out what the end goal is. The end goal for me was, one, taking him out of that home environment that was obviously very comfortable for him and for
Yeah.
me. Creating the opportunity and the experiences that brings the joy to that end goal. Because that was the goal for me. I wanted him to enjoy this. I wanted him not only to, you know, provide the opportunity to meet other people. I mean, he enjoyed meeting other people, especially, we've always said, the ladies. You know, he enjoyed the ladies. And when he understood that he was in a safe and place, then he was able to really enjoy it. When he was younger, we'd take him places, but remember we talked about how he would just love to be in his stroller.
Yeah,
And
you'd hide in there.
that was his comfort space. Anything outside of that was often a no. Just no.
And you doing all of that in relation to Disneyland and helping him with new experiences has helped even our journey as content creators because we have all these new experiences. We try new things. Zach tries so many new things almost on the daily at this point, from his little acting skills to his adventures to whatever it may be. It's an array of things. And even without me noticing or knowing in those moments, it taught him a lot of job skills.
I agree. I've always said part of raising both of you, experiences were just a key element to our everyday. It really was, from sports to what have you. But watching him really take on these new skills that I think were very surprising to you and me. Now, let me just say, don't ever let anyone tell you that your child is not capable of learning something new,
Yeah.
whether it's a job skill. Zachary, even for me, through the creating of content, has really surpassed my understanding of what he was able or capable to want to do. I hope that makes sense,
No, it does,
because
because I think there's so many examples of that.
so many within this just creating content, and I wish people would have been able to see, even the struggles from behind the scenes, how he used those struggles to overcome.
Yeah.
Because we started from a very basic, not even putting like 2-word sentences together. I don't know if you've ever known, but I've said this in the past. Zachary was considered nonverbal.
For 12 years.
12, 13 years,
Yeah.
yes. And when you, as a parent, when you see that, when you live, 13 years with your child, trying to really help them with one words, and then all of a sudden, he's 24 now. Not only is he putting sentences, 4, 5, 6-word sentences, thoughts, ideas, concepts, he's telling us how to
What to say.
what to say,
He's
what to
telling
do.
me
He's
what to say in content.
navigating us.
You did
He's
it
like,
wrong.
yes. Do it like, do it like this and stand right here.
This
and
is how
this
better
is the
content
song I
creators
want
do
to
this,
use.
Patrick. Do it like this.
So he has completely surpassed, for me as a mom, early on those years, watching him. That's why I say, don't put limitations on your child. Don't think that where you are right now is where he or she will be in 10 years or even 20 years. Be patient.
Yeah.
I cannot express how just super proud I am of him, how much he has really shocked me in the most absolutely wonderful ways. I say this over and over. I'm so proud of him. He is hard on himself, I think, for all those reasons that anybody else would be, right? I see him sometimes struggling through trying whatever it is that he's struggling with at that moment.
Yeah, because I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself too in relation to content creation because he sees other creators do it and he has the full confidence
Yes, he does.
that I could create this big production YouTube element.
Yeah.
And we believe he can too, but he sometimes misses.
All
There's
the
like
elements.
100% there's 100% team on that team. Or if he sees Mr. Beast, he's like, I could do that. He has the
does.
confidence too.
I don't think I know anybody with so much confidence as Zachary. I think he really encompasses the type of confidence that we would all love to have and want and desire to have every day, all day long, because he does. He does, and you're right.
Yeah, he thinks he could build a secret game room right now, today, in this house.
And by that is because he watches a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
He's been watching YouTube since he was like 11, 12 years old. And these are your old YouTubers now that he continues to watch. And they do these amazing grand scale productions where you have a full team every day. And yeah, those are elements that he doesn't really understand what it takes to.
But he believes, and I think that pushes us
to
step up our game a lot of the times. And going back, he's hard on himself because when he has the confidence, he believes he could do it. But then it also teaches him, oh, it's okay that it looks a little different. Or adaptability, teaches him patience.
Right.
And all these elements are teaching him so much that, yeah, maybe we could teach him in a different light or a different way. But it's just embedded in our day-to-day life now because of content. And that's beautiful because Zachary found his passion.
And that was that's great that you talk about his passion and helping your own children find their passion. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be from photography or art, construction.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Building a brand. Sky's the limit. There's so many elements, so many jobs out there that...
Or create your own job.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a big believer.
You're creative. You're creative for sure.
Creating your own
path.
job and path to something that you love. You can do these things within your own community. And we have seen so many wonderful people within our Down syndrome community create these like job opportunities for themselves. Yes, it takes a lot of support. There's no denying that it takes a lot of support, a lot of understanding that there's all these elements, there's all these moving parts to this, but you can do it. If it's something that you desire, it's something that it's a family unit. This has brought us so much closer to helping Zachary live that passion, helping Zachary, truly build those job skills.
And I think there's something so special about believing in your child, and as a child myself, right, and Zachary, like having someone believe in you and your dreams, whatever they may be. They may be far off, it may be wild, it may seem unattainable in that moment. But I could speak for myself in this regards. I've never regretted chasing something that I was passionate about. I never regretted trying something. I always regretted stopping myself from not doing it. I regretted not taking the leap of faith. Those are the moments I regret in my life. And I hear a lot of people say that.
And it's true.
Yeah.
I think it's true for just about anyone. I think when you realize, at least for me, right? I'm speaking from a parent perspective.
Right.
When you see your kids trying, even if they're not good at something, you feel a sense of pride that they were willing to either face a fear or try something new, any type of challenge. There's a sense of pride that you feel that your children were able to just try it.
And because even if they're not successful, it taught them a lesson in their next venture or their next opportunity.
But what is success, right? I think
It's
trying is being successful in my eyes as a parent.
That's valid.
Right?
That's very valid.
That's how I feel. That's how I've always felt. I never needed my kids to be the top.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
It wasn't important for me for you to be the top soccer player or the top. That was important. I know maybe for you it was, but
I was the top. I don't know what you're talking about. I just didn't go pro because that wasn't good enough. But
just so everyone knows, Patrick really was extremely athletic from the time that I can remember. 2 years old. He just had a crazy innate skill for sports.
But I forgot to grow. There's that element. I forgot to do that. Forgot to be 6 feet tall, like a little element of that. But no,
I understand
I think
you wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
In all reality, that wasn't important to me. It was important to me, as you know, like I tried to put you in music. I tried to do all sorts of things. I just wanted you to try. Because you won't really figure out what you love or what you enjoy if you're not exposed to something different, right? Because it's hard to break a system, especially for parents. If you didn't grow up exposed to music or exposed to drawing or arts or all these things, it's sort of hard to break that system unless you really want that for your kids. Then you just expose them to this. If it's not their cup of tea, it's not their cup of tea, and that's okay. But exposure is important. New experiences are important. And as they grow up, you fear less of taking those leap of faith. You fear less of taking a chance and trying something new. And I see that even in Zachary now, that he will try something unless it's a hard no, because he has hard no's.
Of course, we all do.
There's just certain things, just a hard no.
Valid.
Yeah. But I think he is more willing to.
Yeah.
He's absolutely more willing to.
And I think that started from a young age of encouraging him. because it just doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. So
It
be
is
patient.
something that's built over time, trust, exposure, saying it's okay to fail, all these elements that are important for kids to learn. We're now seeing that come true for Zachary
Yeah,
as a 24-year-old, which is beautiful. I'm so proud of him.
I really am.
Zach may not be on the podcast at this moment in time with us anymore, but that doesn't mean we don't have golden moments. Mom, what's your golden moment?
I think my golden moment is still in relation to one, how different it feels not having him here. You know, he leaves that little empty space. However, I think it's important to realize that when things don't work out, that it's okay. Because sometimes we have these maybe unrealistic expectations, and it's important to realize that when you don't let go, then you don't allow for growth.
And then next opportunity.
And yes, next opportunity. And I know Zachary will continue to grow in other places, but I also know that for us, this podcast will also grow in other ways that we probably did not foresee or even know at this moment, because that decision that was made for Zachary, with Zachary, will create other opportunities, will create maybe it'll be a pivotal time for the podcast as well.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. I think this is going to free up more time for Zachary in different elements. So he's able to focus on other elements of consecration he enjoys. So I'm excited to see that, see his passion continue to grow, and ultimately just so proud of him. Because again, he came in 100% full force,
He did.
ready to do it, and he did it. And very similar to you, I'm okay with change. I'm okay with pivoting the podcast in a different way, pivoting with Zachary and like his passions and his joys in a different way. And so it's just exciting to see that come to fruition within the next days, months, years, because this is just feels still like just the beginning of it all in the best possible way. So I'm just excited for what's to come next.